If I ask you to find me my car keys, does that mean that I want you to fabricate car keys that are going to work with my car? Or does that mean that I don't know that the car keys that I already know exist and are around somewhere, I want you to get them for me?
Trying to overthrow the government of the United States.
You're just not like, you're not a weak enough person to really like. I don't buy this. I think you dance this way because you think you have to placate.
Okay, first of all,
no chance. Just to
educate
that we almost lost America on January 6th.
Now I will point out that this is if she doesn't genuinely think that he is just pandering, then that's a low blow. If she's just saying that because to make his message seem or his credibility seem less, then that's shady. But it is reasonable for her to genuinely think this. So the distinction I'm making, if you're just saying this to throw an ad hominem at somebody's credibility, oh well, you're just remember the abortion debate with Destiny and those two women on the whatever podcast. And he kept bringing up, well, you guys work for this thing, so you could never, agree with what I'm saying. That was underhanded because there was nothing about what they were saying. They were engaged in the discussion. There was no reason to say that. So if she's genuinely here being like, come on, do you really think that? That's one thing. But if she doesn't think that and she's just throwing an ad hominem, that's not okay. But I think she genuinely means it. No chance.
Like just to educate that we almost lost America on January 6th. Like, I just don't buy that you're that soft.
Yeah, I do. And just to educate you a little on this, I was saying this for 5 years when everyone was laughing at me for saying this, that Trump would never concede the election and he would never go away. I was all alone on a raft.
But I mean, you saw BLM riots, right?
I mean, we don't need to laugh about it though, Bill.
Yeah.
The summer leading up to this, right? Where I lived in DC at this time, where you couldn't go outside, cars were flipped, things were burned, people were boarding up their windows. Yeah. But you thought the end of democracy, you can say this meaningful open space, happened when people above the age of like 65 stormed the Capitol. Like, you thought that was the worst thing you've ever seen in American politics.
Well, I mean, what was the worst scene? That was a small part of a bigger picture. The worst thing was that finally we had a president, after all this history that we've had, nobody ever did this, not Al Gore and not Nixon, who probably didn't actually lose their elections. They allowed this.
Okay, so if they didn't lose their elections, then wouldn't it be a good thing for them to question, hey, I don't think I lost here?
Peaceful transfer of power to happen. We finally had a guy who decided, of course, because he's insane, decided that no matter what happens, I won this election. There's only two things that could possibly happen. I win the election, or if I don't win the election, there must have been some cheating.
So, fine. Is that illegal to think that? If you think that you lost, but you're trying to obfuscate, then that's one thing. But if you genuinely think, and I'm not saying I know what's in Trump's head, but if you genuinely think, hey, there's something going on here, there's something that needs to be looked at, investigated, then what is the issue? Well, this is a wealthy and stable nation whose oil was not price-based on the free market of the global commodities trade upset big oil so much they had to send their henchmen, Hillary and Obama, ended. Yep. Logan says, I hate when people say our democracy. It's such an annoying buzzword. Yeah, like, what does that mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Context said, but if BLM did it, it would have been celebrated. I don't agree with that. I think he, this is right where I kind of trailed off, but I'm pretty sure he is, very willing to call out like I know he's willing to call out like the shoplifting stuff that we've seen. I'm pretty sure he's willing to call out the rioting. But I don't know. Let's see. Al Gore totally didn't take his case to the Supreme Court. Trump tried to take his case to court and it wasn't heard. Yep.
It was looked at by his own people around him, including the Homeland Security Department, including the Director of National Intelligence, including every court, federal and state, including his own lawyers, his daughter, Bill Maher, everybody told him, you lost this election. They looked at this over and over again. Even the Republican vote counters.
I agree. And Darian, I understand this, but I'm still saying that as much as we have, yeah, like as if he's bringing up TDS here, as much as people can be deranged in one direction and it's not illegal, why is it illegal to be deranged in the other direction? He wasn't trying to do anything illegal. He was trying to bring up court cases specifically to go down legal avenues of this. Am I wrong about that?
Like the one he called who said, find me 11,000 more votes.
Again, I will say, if I ask you to find me my car keys, does that mean that I want you to fabricate car keys that are going to work with my car? Or does that mean that I don't know that the car keys that I already know exist and are around somewhere, I want you to get them for me? Well, find me, get out of here.
Even those people told him. So plainly, he did not accept losing the election, and then he tried to put in a bun. This is why he's on trial.
I'm just
it's not.
I think we've got comment of the night from Bill Bradley. Bunch of right-wingers showed up for a revolution, and none of them brought their guns, and that makes total sense. If your brain is broken, I suppose. Yeah. Any film says, Darren, you're a little off because fraud was proven in many places, but Bill Maher and others said it wasn't enough to change the election. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know which part, like which one of the 91 indictments is relevant to what he did illegally in contesting the election. That's what I want to know. That's a genuine question because I don't know. I thought most of it was bullshit with him having classified documents and this and that and the other. But if that's what they're trying to take him off the ballot, and there's nothing about election, this, that, or the other, then clearly he didn't do anything wrong because then they would have gone after it. Odin says, Bill does leave out that the court didn't actually listen to the cases. They just decided you have no standing. Okay, sure, that's different. How is that different?
If you believe that day, as the media presenter, we're talking about media hoaxes.
I give you my answer. It's not just that day, although that was part of the scheme. I mean, it's not like coincidence that they showed up on the very day that they were certifying the vote at the very place they were doing it to stop that from happening.
And did you have any questions about why the FBI hasn't been able to find, since we started with media hoaxes?
Ray Epps.
Do you think it's strange that they haven't been able to find who dropped off the pipe bombs the night before?
Oh, what? I didn't know anything about that.
I think that's the strangest piece.
What pipe bombs? Oh, this is some red herring bullshit.
It's not,
Again, I haven't heard about that, so that's clearly not happening.
Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly. Dilly dilly.
Projection.
No, not hang. This is in the news. You can watch the CNN, MSNBC. Remember the night before on January 5th, there were pipe bombs that were set outside of the RNC and the DNC.
Look at that face. Like, well, how dare you tell me something, okay? Only my writers tell me something. So he said, I hope Trump wins the election, pardons himself, then sicks the FBI on the Biden crime family. Even if he did, they would say no, because they are corrupt as shit. Bill Bradley says, I think the only GA general, the only GA case ties to the election, and they do have to do it via RICO charges. They have nothing direct. Yeah, I mean, again, what is it? What is the illegal part of the contest? The contesting the election? Okay, that's not the point, Darian. But they are saying, because he said find 11,000 votes, they are saying that you need to that means that Trump meant to fabricate. And I'm just telling you that that's not the only meaning of find. Oh, gotcha. All right, I'm gonna read that back. But that do you understand what I mean? If him saying find 11,000 votes means that he's faking votes, then it wouldn't make sense for me to ask anybody to find my car keys. And if it does make sense that my car keys already exist, they're in the house somewhere, I just don't know where. They should be right on the table where I leave them every day. But maybe Morty got to them. Maybe I, whatever, I was hungry and I came in and I left them in the kitchen. Can you find the keys for me? That in no way implies fabrication. That is the point. Anyfilm said, I'm not saying that there was more and more evidence that Nancy Pelosi helped orchestrate January 6th in the Capitol Police and others, but context said kind of like nobody knew who left the pallets of bricks to be thrown at Occupy Wall Street. Yep. Yeah. All right. So I think the only Georgia case ties to the election. Oh, yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So, I mean, I'm not arguing that Trump won. That is not what's happening here. I'm just saying, why is it that it's such a horrible thing that crumbled our democracy? That he's like, no, I think I'm pretty sure I won. Especially when we know that there was drastic rule changes. I don't see how that is anything wrong. I don't understand. Well, you should just hand over power because they said so. No. What? That's not how America works. Logan said, I like when candidates contest and force recounts and legally challenge things. It should increase the transparency of elections and make them more honest.
How dare you?
You're a terrible person. You're a terrible person for saying this, Logan. How dare you? Or wait, maybe it makes complete sense. CT says Texas tried to sue for other states, changing election laws, and SCOTUS threw it out. While they argued it was unconstitutional, they would have while they argued it was unconstitutional, that would have found the votes. That's all. That's all I'm saying. Is that find doesn't mean fabricate. Fabricate means fabricate. So he said Trump won, then lost to Biden, but it's always good to recheck things. Yeah, I agree. Thus, I would submit that the censoring of the true Hunter Biden story is, in fact, election interference when you do it days before an election, especially when polls say 17% of people would have changed their vote based on seeing that. 17%. That's the whole election. That's the entire election right there. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed that clip, check out the full live stream link in the bio and catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you there.